there's cop cars out there that come up to me. That's right. This is the almost the last block, because I always get the last block because it's me. It's the first Monday of October, which means the Supreme Court is back in session. There are some landmark cases to be heard, ranging from healthcare reform to cameras in courtrooms to GPS tracking systems, and also another problem, which is Clarence Thomas is under investigation for a $700,000 income he did not report from his wife, and he's got some ethics problems. And by the way, she calls herself an ambassador to the Tea Party. The Tea Party says that health care reform is one of the big issues. I think he should recuse himself, shouldn't he?
Why do you hate Clarence Thomas?
Yeah, you really don't like him.
Why? Clarence Thomas is the most vilified Supreme Court justice ever because he's a conservative black man.
Can you answer the question for me?
No, I can't.
She considers herself an ambassador to
I can't answer that. All I'm saying.
You won't. All right, go ahead. What do you think health care reform is going to come out?
Well, what has to happen is the Supreme Court is going to decide whether or not to hear it before next year. And that is that's one of the most important, the decision about the constitutionality of the individual mandate of Obamacare will be decided at some point. The question will be, do the justices take it up? And if they do, that means that they will hear it sometime this year, and that next June, in the middle of the presidential election, that's when it will come out.
I think they're going to hear it.
I don't like putting the Supreme Court in this position, but
well, you put him in that position to elect a president. I mean, what's wrong with a
That was a great decision.
Oh yeah, sure it was.
By the way.
Yeah, that wasn't a hack decision.
So I don't know. I think that I do think that they'll take it up because the lower courts have there's enough uncertainty, and it's stalling out everything in America. And so
I think you're right. I think they will. Let's move on to let me move on to something else. Explain this GPS warrants thing to us.
Yeah. Okay, so the GPS warrants. I think this issue, and being former prosecutor, you would think I would say load it up, track them, but I think it has to be limited in scope. You can't just put a tracker on someone's car. So GPS is like kind of works like an ankle brace. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And they put a device on a car, and they're able to track and discover your whereabouts, where you're going, who you're meeting with, and it's a locator.
No.
I'll tell you why it's good. Can I tell you why it's good?
It's not good for me.
It's good for the environment. In the old days, when cops had to trail a criminal, they'd have to drive around, and that's 2 cars. Now, with the GPS tracker, you don't have to track the criminal. Good for the environment.
What do you think about the GPS tracker?
I agree with Greg. The carbon footprint of chasing
The point is you have to have warrants, right? That's what the argument is, that these are warrantless searches, that they're invasive, that they're intrusive, and, to a certain extent they are.
It's just tracking. Yeah,
I understand that, but you have to go put it in order before the judge, get it signed off on, say what evidence you have. Otherwise, they say it's
can a suspicious wife petition the court to find out the whereabouts of a husband?
Well,
I told you earlier, Eric, that was never going to happen.
Let's move on. There's a number of things I've got to cover. How about this? What do you think about cameras in courtrooms?
I think it's fantastic. Open it up. Transparency across the board. I love it. I'm a voyeur. I like watching the courtroom
Dan,
drama.
what do you think?
I'm a traditionalist. I like no cameras in the courtroom, and I think it forces the reporters and the media to be a little bit more thoughtful and analytical when they're doing the reporting.
I have two feelings about this. One, it's going to put sketch artists out of business, and I think that's tragic. The other thing is maybe the Supreme Court justice will take better care of their appearance.
Well, I think it'd be...
Plus, look what happened to Congress.
I think it's fascinating and educational that we should have transparency, have open doors to the criminal court system. I want to hear what the justices say. I want to educate young people about the way our system of justice works so they have a greater appreciation for it and understanding and educate themselves.
I think those are all good arguments. I'm just glad they didn't have cameras in the courtrooms when I was before a judge, because my mother would have found that.
But how did your sketch turn out?
It didn't, believe me. All right, one last thing, because I know this gets Eric's...
this is a tough one.
Deporting kids whose parents brought them here.
Yeah, the illegals come over with kids, not the ones that are born, not the children who are born here, but they come over with kids. They're caught. Parents have to go back. Sorry, they got to go back. Now, if you want to pick a date, like if they're under 18, they can stay. But what kid is going to want to stay if their parents have to? Parents have to go back, unequivocally, in my opinion. I mean, there are some that would say, well, if they've spent a certain amount of time here, they can stay. I say send the parents.
You're punishing children for something their parents did. These kids ought to be able to stay as long as they want. And frankly, they should get all the help they can get. And you know how to pay for it? You, me, and everybody at this table.
Absolutely.
Thank you for making that decision for me,
I did. You're very welcome.
And being lenient on that is like a magnet. It just draws people across the board.
Look, we're going to have to get out of here, because coming up, the moment you've all been waiting for. The results of Eric and my bet from Friday. You don't want to miss this.
Shine on the moon that's gone and left me blue. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the moon that's gone and left me blue. Well, the heat was on one moonlight night.